Hey yo, what up? What up, guys? Hey yo, what's up? What's up? Skinny legends and thick legends. Wow, I totally went there. Anyway, here I am, SearingSorrow, and I'm back with another really bad fanfiction. So this one is also requested, and thank you to the person who just goes at it away with a request. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. Anyway, so this is a fanfiction from Fanfiction, and it is called, was written by Starkey Shy. Interesting. And it is called, Professional Footjob Mare Conditioning is probably the subtitle, so. Oh no, I'm not looking forward to this, and I've been warned that this is pretty much on par with footwork. Because of that, I think I'm about to be in for some interesting stuff. Here we go. Okay. Miss Harshwhitey opened her eyes with a massive headache. The last few hours of her life were nothing but a blur to her. She shook her head, trying to find out where she was. Her eyes briefly widened in surprise when she found she couldn't move. She had been stripped of her usual business attire, left practically nude. This is fantastic. A collar and ball gag hung around her neck, just above the leather device that had been wrapped around her breast. What? I think there's about to be some strange, very G-rated BDSM going on here with this. I don't know. Why do I suddenly get that vibe? I don't know. Goodness gracious, y'all. I don't even know what to think. Her arms were bound behind her head, her forearms locked in cuffs with two chains, each attached 2 inches above her. Her feet were propped up on a podium on some sorts, soles facing each other. It was a curious mechanism that kept her feet in place. Her seat, her ankles, and forearms, and had comfortable padding, but there was also a cushion between her feet. It seemed to be useless, seeing how her feet were hovering over the metal base. The small room she had been trapped in was dimly lit and devoid of any windows or other furniture. So, yeah, pretty much, I don't know. It seems like I'm in my theory of this is about to be some serious, crazy, G-rated BDSM about to happen in this fanfic, and I'm scared. Ah, you finally woke up, a voice suddenly echoed. Miss Harshwhitey squinted her eyes, looking around for whoever was in the room with her. She saw a figure standing on the other side of the room, but she couldn't get a clear enough grasp on their physical appearance. Goodness God! Shoot! She could, however, tell the voice was definitely male. Oh boy, we're about to get real! Nice to see you're awake. Let's get your first day of training started, the voice said in a casual tone. The speaker still kept out of focus from Harshwhitey's sight. Or maybe it's Harshwhitey. I don't know. I don't freaking know how to pronounce it. I'm just gonna say Harshwhitey because that's what I started off with. Okay? I'll say the way how I want. Harshwhitey didn't respond, her frown only growing bigger as she glared at her assumed captor. Oh no! I feel like soon I might need bleach or something. Holy water, perhaps. Wow. The figure adjusted the lights, revealing the pony behind the voice, a very light gray Pegasus wearing a white V-neck and jeans, blue jeans, white shirt. Is this Homer Simpson? And then I just started thinking of that song from Lana Del Rey. Blue jeans, white shirt. Yes. I just started thinking of that. Wow, okay, that's hilariously fantastic. A pen placed between his ear and brushed back lightly blue mane. Excuse me. Hello, Miss Harshwhiney. My name is Dreamy Days, and I'll be the one that's training you. Training me for what? She asked, more annoyed than afraid. I feel like it's gonna be some training you on G-rated BDSM. That's what's going on. And I ain't ever rotting that chiz. I ain't ever gonna rot that chiz, at least for now. I personally, as of right now, I wouldn't do that. As you could probably tell for the 50 billions of fanfics that I've written, I mean, there's no such things of that. And, well, I know the number one thing you've already haven't seen on my fanfics is smut, which I don't know how I would go with that. Well, he said, looking at the engraved plaque on the front of the podium, you're going to be a professional footjob Mare. You can't be serious! You must be joking, Mr. Days, she said flatly. This is no joke. I've been tasked with turning you into a professional footjob Mare, and I don't intend to fail. For some reason, I suddenly want to just give him like an oily voice or something. I don't frickin' know. The Pegasus began to undo his pants, sliding them down with his underwear to reveal his throbbing dark gray cock. Now let me see what you can do, he said, the corner of his mouth turning up ever so slightly as he approached Harshwhiney, ready to insert his member between her soles. Oh, I don't think so, she scoffed, looking down in disgust as her feet turned to avoid contact with his cock. You're quite the tease, but that's how it's going to be. Then let's start with some conditioning, he said, stroking his chin. It just sounded so wrong. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Just stop. If you think that you're going to condition me to use my feet to pleasure that cock of yours, then you are sorely mistaken, Harshwhiney said with a huff. I would never provide any sort of sexual pleasure to someone who hardly looks professional or dignified. And you must be, and then after all that chiz, you're going to be feeling very undignified. Though that's the way how to put it. I mean, look at your mane. Do you even care none for your appearance? Dreamy looked up, running his hand through his mane, a curled lock falling in front of his forehead. I suppose there are some guys that wouldn't mind being talked to like that, but, He leaned forward, grabbing into Harshwhiney's toes. Unhand me, you pervert! She shouted, trying to break free of his grip. This is gonna get discussed. This is gonna get real. Dreamy said nothing, taking his index finger and sliding it up her arch. Harshwhiney protests paused. Her toes started to twitch. She bit her lip, her cheeks starting to flush red. Dreamy looked up, intrigued by Harshwhiney's reaction. With 2 fingers, he began to stroke down her soul repeatedly. The Mare started to shake, looking away as she grit her teeth, trying to keep her frown. Interesting, Dreamy mused, letting go of her toes as he turned her around, walking out of the room, leaving Harshwhiney alone. Of all the undignified, this is absurd, she muttered to herself. Professional footjob Mare? Who does that stallion think he is? Whipping out his penis like some sort of barbarian and expecting me to just service him with my feet. When I get out of this, I'm going to grab him by his messy hair. And Harshwhiney's rant was quickly shut off when the door opened again and Dreamy returned, hiding something behind his back. Oh no, what is he hiding? Oh no, what is he hiding? What is he hiding? Yo, what is he hiding? He dropped some of the items in front of her, hidden from her view. He placed the first item by her feet. 5 elliptical rings of increasing size. Dreamy started to bring Harshwhiney's toes together, humming to himself as he began to slipping the rings on her toes, binding them together big toe to big toe, pinky to pinky. Stop! What are you doing? Conditioning, Dreamy stated as he slipped the last ring on. Hey, that's cheating, she protested and tried to separate her toes. Cheating? Dreamy raised an eyebrow, seemingly offended by the insinuation. This isn't a game. Besides, think of it as an assisting tool. Mr. Dave, this is a ridiculous endeavor. No amount of training or conditioning will ever make me submit to your disgusting demands. I refuse to be a footjob, Mare, and I demand that you release me this instant, she shouted, clenching her fist as she bounced in her seat. Oh dear, oh no, I need the holy water. Dreamy stared at Harshwhiney while she yelled, appearing to be listening intently. After a moment of silence, he leaned down, grabbing something else. I see, Miss Harshwhiney. Your souls are absolutely beautiful, just like the rest of your gorgeous body, and I think you can become a fine professional footjob Mare. He popped back up, hollered something behind his back again. I think you just need to find the right motivation. He revealed what he was holding in his right hand, a bottle filled with translucent liquid. Oh no, this is not gonna end well. This will not end well, hon. What is that? Another means to cheat? She said with a cocky smirk. Oh, cheeky one, aren't you, girl? Oh, so you'll figure it out in a moment, he said slowly, tipping it over, letting the mysterious liquid drip onto her toes. Harshwhiney let out a confident chuckle, her defiance rising. The liquid sliding down her feet was a slight discomfort, but she could manage. But as Dreamy continued to drip the liquid on her toes, her confidence started to waver. Her smile started to fade, her toes started to twitch, and her heart started to pound. Ah! What's it? What's it doing? What are you putting on my feet? Oh no! Oh, this? Let's see here. Sensitivity lotion. Warning, use only in small doses. Prolonged use results in hypersensitivity. Dreamy read aloud, making sure that Harshwhiney could hear. With a shrug, he tipped the bottle further, letting the liquid spill onto her feet. This is not gonna end well, yo! I don't think it will. As more of the lotion dripped down her toe on her soles, Harshwhiney started to squirm, her soles started to tingle. She started to move her feet, but the sensation only grew stronger. Wait! Stop! It tingles and it itches! No can do, my dear. All part of your training. Speaking of, with his other hand, Dreamy brought up what he was holding up to his other hands, a large, fuzzy, spinning roller slowly approaching her soles. Oh dear. Meet your motivation. Oh no! Oh no! Before the roller made contact, he slipped it on some gloves, rubbing his fingers against her feet, slathering across her soles and between her toes to make sure that it was evenly applied. Here we go. Much better. Now time for the conditioning, he said with a sinister smile as the spinning roller was inserted between her feet, the fuzzy surface slowly spinning against her toes. Oh my goodness! I need bleach! I need holy water! Give me some holy water, yo! Please! Please! Stop! Harshwhiney grit her teeth, unwillingly grinning as the fuzzy roller brushed against her feet. Unable to move away, she shut her eyes tight. Tears started to form at the corners of her as her blush only grew in intensity and size. Guys, stop it! I could, but where's the fun in that? He chuckled, pouring the rest of the bottle onto her shaky toes, letting the spinning brush spreading it out. Harsh Whiny shuddered, shaking her bods, the chains rattling as she tugged onto them. She struggled not to burst out laughing, but with the sensitivity lotion being spread across her soles by the roller, each rotation tickled more and more. Dreamy watched in delight, reveling in her torment. You're quite the resilient mare, Miss Harsh Whiny. Well, I admire that. I'd love to hear that laugh you've been hiding for so long. I bet that is absolutely adorable. Don't you want to let that laughter out? Maybe if I speed this thing up, making it tickle more. Wow! He's basically the equivalent of a freaking diesel! Trying to torment somebody else! God! Stop! In a few seconds, the spinning started to increase, along with the ticklish sensations. Harsh Whiny's ears flicked, the verbal teasing slowly chipping away at her resolve. But she could only hold out so long, and despite being told the spinning would speed up, it did nothing to prepare her for the intensified sensations. She finally broke in at a laughter, thrashing in her seat. Stop! There's the laughter I was looking for, Dreamy said, clapping as he dropped the bottle onto the floor. Just as I thought, absolutely adorable. He is a dirty creep! Oh. But please! Stop it now! She began her laughter slowly but surely increasing in volume. Oh, I'll stop as soon as you'll say I'll be your professional footjob mare for me. Dreamy chuckled, twirling the empty bottle on his finger. Of course, I expect you to actually be my professional footjob. What the heck am I saying? Footjob mare. There are more bottles where this came from. After all. Never! Have it your way. I can always speed it up again. Dreamy shrugged, increasing the rotation speed once more. Mercy! Please! She began, tears flowing down her cheeks. Her feet shook violently no matter how hard she tried. Her toes would not separate, keeping her soul stuck in a ticklish torment. I'm calling the cops after this is over. I'd love to, my dear. All you need to say is those magic words, Dreamy said. He considered upping the speed once more, but decided to wait for her response. Harsh Whiny squealed. The tickling was absolutely unbearable, and there was no sign of mercy to be found. Despite how disgusting his demands were, she had to give in, if only to just get a second of relief. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I'll be your What you say? I didn't quite catch that. Miss Harsh Whiny started to sweat. It was hard enough forcing herself to say that phrase. It was even harder to be able to say it without exploding into laughter. I'll be your professional. I'm afraid I don't understand what you're saying. Did you want me to tickle you more? No! I'll be your... She's laughed helplessly, sweat starting to drip down her body. The lotion's effect started to set in. The tickling she previously called unbearable paled in comparison to the sensations she felt now. Ugh. Are you sure there are a lot more of your body to tease and torture after all? Dreamy grinned, brandishing two paintbrushes that bristled slightly, teasing her oily heels. Ow! I'll be your ha. Harsh Whitey squealed, tried to thrash around in her bonds, only succeeding in making the chains rattle. Her soles only increased in ticklishness as they were pressed against the roller, dripping lotion on the cushion between her feet. The paintbrushes added more enough sensation for her to suffer through as she tried to give in to Dreamy's demands. I think I missed a few spots. Let me take care of that for you, dear, he murmured, leaning in. Jeez, God, goodness gracious, no, stop. Just stop. The brush in his left hand started running around the top of her feet, making sure that they were also coated in the devious lotion. With his right hand, he slid the brush against her bound toes, stray bristles sneaking their way beneath her toes. Harsh Whitey tried and tried again to say that damned phrase. Even the light brushing against the top of her feet would just make her squeal if that were the only sensation she could feel. If only she was that lucky. To Harsh Whitey, it felt like hours had passed, and she feared what would happen to her poor feet if she couldn't say what she needed to say right now. I'll be your professional footjob bear! God, please, Mr. Days! She sputtered out before losing herself in hysterics once more. Just as quickly as her torment had started, it had stopped. Thank the Lord! Thank you! Oh my God! Wow, what is this? Is this like a literal equivalent to, like, I don't know, frickin' Diesel trying to torture Duck? In the exact same fashion that he'd been doing throughout the whole Duck and Diesel trilogy? You know, after when Duck was being a troll and Pop goes to Diesel, I swear Duck was a massive troll. And he's good at trolling. I ain't gonna front. The roller slowed to a complete halt as he retracted the brushes. Shame! I would have loved listening to your lovely laugh a little bit more. Oh well, progress is progress. Harsh Whitey leaned her head back, still sweating, drooling and crying, focusing on catching her breath. A few straight laughs escaped her lips as her body went limp as it could, only tensing up in discomfort as the roller was removed from her soles. She let out a small whimper as she slowly breathed in and out. Putting down the brushes, Dreamy picked up a towel, wrapping it around his neck before quickly pulling it off the toe bindings. Even though it gave her a strong tingling sensation, the first thing Harsh Whitey did was wiggle her toes as soon as they were free, letting out a low sigh of relief. Once the rings were put away, Dreamy grabbed the towel, wrapping it around her right foot. He gently pressed his fingers against various parts of her foot, holding them there for a few seconds before pressing it into another spot. Harsh Whitey tensed up when she saw Dreamy approach her with the towel. With her mind so fuzzy, she was unsure of what he was doing. She winced as when the towel was being wrapped around her foot, anticipating more tickling instead. She was surprised by his gentle touch. He was slow, delicate, like he was a different stallion from the one that reveled and torturing her. Yikes! Oh, wow! Of course, her sensitive soles be touched gave her goosebumps, but it was far better than what she expected. Mr. Days! Dreamy didn't respond. When he removed the towel, Harsh Whitey's foot was no longer wet with lotion, instead shining and blushing red from the roller's abuse. He gave the same treatment to her other foot, making it look the same. He planted a kiss on her soles before kissing each individual one. What the actual... What? What the heck is going on? Oh, taking out another towel, Dreamy walked around the podium, wiping off the sweat, tears, and drool from Harsh Whitey's face, giving her a kiss on her blushing cheeks, before wiping off the rest of her, taking especially delicate care when wiping off her breasts. Despite being clean, Harsh Whitey continued to sweat and cry. She wanted to shout at him for the kiss, but she was too exhausted to muster up the energy. She was thankful that he was at least being gentle. She hung her head down, her toes throbbing from the previous stimulation. After Dreamy wiped most of the sweat from her body, he stepped back in front of the podium, putting down the towel. There we go, all cleaned up. That oil soaked in real good. Ha ha! It's so sensitive. She patted her feet, still twitching. And it'll stay that way for weeks, sweetie, he said with a wink. Ow! Why? God, why? Weeks? But I... Harsh Whiny trailed off, too exhausted to even complain. Maybe a couple of months. Depends, really, he chuckled, grabbing onto her foot, slowly running his thumbs up to her arch. Harsh Whiny let out a gasp, her toes spreading out. Such a gentle touch, making her jolt. Now, how about we try again, he gasped, presenting his erection to her feet. Once more! Harsh Whiny let out a high-pitched whine, trying to keep her feet in a position. She wanted to turn her feet away, but was too fearful of the consequences. Her feet continued to throb. She couldn't imagine what the second bottle of lotion would do, and she didn't even try to. Now, let's see if you're willing to cooperate this time, he muttered, his cock slowly approaching her blushing soles. This is not going to end well. With a begrudging whimper, she gripped onto the veiny cock with her toes, the simple contact making her jolt due to how sensitive her feet had become. She had instinctively tensed her body, making her toes squeeze into Dreamy's further. Aha! So, oh yeah, that's the stuff, Dreamy exhaled sharply, his shaft throbbing against her toes. Harsh Whiny winced. What she was doing was disgusting, being reduced to a simple sex object. And that's something why a lot of women cannot stand. Myself personally. I can't stand that just when women get so just gets to the point of being just demoted as sex objects. No. We're human beings. We have thoughts. We have personalities. Let us have them. But even touching anything from her feet made her squirm, making her move her feet up and down his shaft, causing more hypersensitive sensations, which made her feet stroke in a vicious cycle. Dreamy started to close his eyes, letting out a low growl. Only a few minutes of conditioning and she was already doing what he wanted. She had a lovely body, a beautiful laugh, and those toes gently squeezing her as his stick so to chill down his spine. Nice squeezes on those toes. He grinned, his breathing starting to become heavier. Harsh Whiny grit her teeth, whining as she ran her feet up and down his stick. Her sensitive feet making her squirm, but with each stroke. Oh my goodness gracious. No, seriously. Oh dear. Dreamy started to drool, clenching his fist as he started to thrust between her toes, letting out low growls. Harsh Whiny's breath started to get heavier, blinking as she felt Dreamy thrust. The sensation that made her shudder started to feel erotic. What the actual jizz? What the actual what? It was a confusing feeling, each stroke making her nethers tingle. She still thought of her situation was abhorrent, yet she felt compelled to keep going. You're a natural, Whiny, he muttered, biting his lower lip. Slowly but surely, Harsh Whiny started to get more of her into her role. The pleasuring sensations too much for her to handle. She started to shiver, rubbing her bare soul against Dreamy's dick, started to moan herself. This is God! What is Stop! I might need holy water. And I'm gonna watch a ton of Thomas the Tank Engine after this. To just, cleanse away that. Oh God, no. Thank God I'm almost done with this, it looks like. Oh, jeez. Dreamy let out a lone moan, his cheeks turning red as his toes curled. Oh, heck yeah, that's the stuff. Ew! Harsh Whitey's left foot started to caress Dreamy's cock, her soul rubbing against the length of his shaft. Her right foot began to... Her right foot began to... against the length of her shaft. His shaft, excuse me. Her right foot began to stroke it between her toes. Oh! Oh, my Celestia! She gasped, her big toes rubbing against his cockhead, linking it out! Just a little more. I've gotta, Dreamy said, trying to hold down as long as possible. Harsh Whitey's footwork pushing him closer and closer to the edge. Closer to the edge. Why didn't I just throw 30 seconds of bars in this? Sorry. I know, I like that song. Okay? He wanted to keep her servicing him, stroking his dick with those sensitive toes of hers. Yes, Mr. Days, she said, now enthusiastically pumping his cock with her soul shivering into that! The throbbing cock against her feet, making her nethers wet! Dreamy reached his climax, throwing his head back as he came, his cum shooting out of her Harsh Whitey's chest and belly! Ew! 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 Well, this got even worse! So I need holy water! And I'm probably gonna watch Thomas the Tank Engine after this. Oh, feel me! It feels so good, she moaned as she squeezed the shaft with her soul. Good pet, he patted, wiping his forehead, pulling himself back. That was that was so good. Hold on, Dreamy grabbed onto his cock, giving it a few more pumps before shooting out another load onto her soles. Oh, is that all? She asked in daze. Her toes started to spread out, the cum started dripping down her feet, making her toes twitch. I need holy water! Honey, we were just getting started. Oh dear, Dreamy said, still fully erect. I'd love to some more, Master Days, she said. Those words just felt so natural to say. The sensation she got when she was servicing him. She would do anything to keep experiencing them. No, you know what? Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna do something real quick. Hold on. Hello, 911? Yes, I'd like to report a crime. Yes, there's some serious shit's going on. I don't know what it is, but according to Mr. Days and the other chick, they're on some crazy chiz right now, and I'm actually scared. No, seriously, I'm legit terrified. Yes, thank you. Thank you. You hear that? The cops are on their way. Oh, dear. More, He stroked his chin, tapping his foot against the floor. Well, do you promise to be a good girl, Whiny? Yes, Mr. Days, she nodded enthusiastically, already flexing her toes. Good, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, he joked, walking out of the room. His absence wasn't long as he returned with another stallion. This one was a sand-colored earth pony with blonde hair like Dreamy. He was also nude and erect. What in the... No, do not try to do this. Whiny, this is Flicker Feather. Hello, he waved. Do you think you could service both of us at the same time? Yes, Master Days and Master Feather. She seems enthusiastic, Flicker chuckled, because she was conditioned so well. Please, masters, please. Let me be your professional footjob Mare, she begged her. Oh, God, jeez. It was stripping Mare with less teeth. Ew. Gross. Dreamy chuckled. Well then, let's make this a bit more interesting. He walked behind Harsh Whiny, pushing the ball gag and hug around her neck into her mouth. From behind his back, he put something over her eyes, a special blindfold that wrapped around not only to the back of her neck, but her ears, muffling her sense of hearing. I feel like this is about to be some serious hardcore BDSM. And I think we're gonna need to barf back maybe some holy water. Get like a gallon of holy water, will ya? At the same time, Flicker Feather picked up some small pieces of the rope from the pile of things Dreamy brought in, starting to tie Harsh Whitey's toes back towards the frame. While Dreamy was busy blinding Harsh Whitey, he began poking and teasing the tied toes with his fingertips, delighted by watching them try to squirm and twitch. Now then, Dreamy walked back into the front of Harsh Whitey, stroking his cock against her taut soles. "That's feeling good, Whitey," "That feeling good, Whitey?" he shouted, trying to make sure he heard. She heard, excuse me. Not with my botching. Isn't that fantastic? Botching. Harsh Whitey had lost motivation of her feet, her sense of sight, and most of her hearing, but instead of panicking and thrashing, the feeling was exciting, and with her sense of touch more focused on, the feeling on her soles was magnified, making her quiver with delight. With a bog egg in her mouth, her response was muffled but clearly passionate. "All right, she's ready. Come on, Flicker." "Prepare your holy water, will ya?" Without another word, Flicker joined in, with Dreamy pleasuring himself with the right foot. He began rubbing his dick against the left one. "Oh, they are soft. They're so soft." "I know, right?" Dreamy grunted, thrusting against her soul. Harsh Whitey's body shook in delight, squealing as loud as she could into the ball gag, each thrust against her soul, driving her nuthers crazy, eventually making her reach a climax of her own from the situation. Her mind was in a haze, slowly forgetting the rage and the fear she had previously held, now just happy to serve her masters. "Stop." "Good pet, Whitey," Dreamy chuckled, the two stallions pumping fists as they rubbed their dicks against the twitching, blushing soles. "Oh, God." So soft, so pent up. I'm close already." Flicker Feather grunted, her cock thrumping as he rubbed his cock in right under the ball of her foot. "No need to hold back. We have all time in the world to keep playing with her." Flicker nodded, reaching his climax as he shot a massive load on her heel, sighing in relief as he idly rubbed his stallion hood against the arch, wiggling his fingers against the toes. "So, what else can we do with her?" "Well, we could always do some more conditioning." Wow. Okay. I feel like that was worse than footwork. That was enough to drive me. Oh my God, stop. Wow, that was wild. And now I'm gonna need I'm now gonna need holy water, and I'm probably gonna watch a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine after this. Because I can't. And I'm talking the old series, not the CGI. Okay. Oh my gosh, that was god awful. But anyway, that was a wild fanfiction. Y'all, these My Little Pony fanfics, y'all are wild. Goodness gracious. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.